Hey everyone, look what I have. Some amazing Scrapbusters. I love them so much. Aren't they cute? So what these are just scraps of fabric that I have torn into probably what, 1 inch by 1 inch pieces, and then just sewn through my, run them through my sewing machine, just like this. I didn't even stop, just keep threading them through just like that. And I did change the stitching on some of them, just to mix it up a little bit. And then I took a wine cork like this and put my fabric down. And the nice thing about this is you can twist it however you need to keep it, where all your fabric is facing the same way. And just rolled it up on there. And when I tore the fabric, of course, it got a lot of little strings and things like that. Isn't that perfect? So these are like 3 yards, and there's roughly 18 to 20 little squares on each. And then I just put a little rusty safety pin in it, and I will keep this right here by my desk so that when I'm making clusters or trying to decorate tags, whatever, the edge of my journal, I have it right here. And I think that is a neat little thing that would be great to, like I said, keep on your desk. Or if you do craft fairs, I think that would be something fun. Can you imagine popping these into, or just setting them out on your counter? I used to do craft fairs, believe it or not. And I mean, things like this, I think, up next to your register, it's not overly expensive, but way cute. Way cute. Is that? No. Just really cute and useful. I mean, especially, to people that do junk journals. You wouldn't even have to do junk journals. I know there's lots of things that you could do with this. Just like making the charms that you would want to put on a package or a present, or, I mean, anything just to decorate up a little bit more. You know what would be fun is if you had a little stamp with your logo, you could put it right here or not. I have some logos that are on paper, and they're about 1 inch. I could cut them and glue it right here. If you were packaging it up, I think that would be great. So I had a lot of little strips like this. Not that you need me to show you how to tear fabric, but I just cut it in half and then tore it and then cut this in about 3 pieces and tore it again. So I had little stacks of fabric, different colors, and I just, before I went to my sewing machine, I, mixed them all up and just grabbed from my stack and fed it through. Now, something like this, you could either tear it off, but I have left some of these like this in mine. I sewed here, and I left this little scrap for a couple of reasons. I like really grungy look, and to have a little piece of fabric hanging off like this would look good. Or you can cut that off and use it in another way. But I wouldn't waste it. I would, you know me, I wouldn't waste it. I would keep it on there and see if I couldn't hang on to it for a few years before I use it. Oh my goodness. Look at my fingernails, you guys. Isn't this horrible? So they're supposed to look like candy corn, but I couldn't find any yellow. And really what it ended up looking like is a French manicure that went really bad, but that's okay. I'm going to try to have it changed before my next live sale where people don't have to stare at this for a few hours. But anyway, I wanted to show you a few things that you could do with it. Not only is it, I mean, you don't even have to have fabric. Something like this would be really neat. Or, here's the one I had. Take the piece you've got and make little clusters, just out of fabric. But I was looking at some of these things I had here from the other day when I did a tutorial on using up scraps. Something like this, you could take it, put it on the edge of your book, and there is a string, so you could cut it, or not. I saw Ann Kinlan do a really neat video where she put it across her page like a banner. Really neat. I'll try to find that video and give it and link it below. But if you wanted to do something like this and then cut your string, of course you wouldn't even really have to cut it, and just layer them, you know, on the side of a page. And look how easy it is. You already have your sewn fabrics, your cut fabrics, and a little spool right here by your desk ready to use. I think that's a neat thing. Anything we can do to add prettiness to our tags that, you know, doesn't necessarily cost us a whole bunch of time. You give a little bit of time to begin with, and then when you're actually in the mode of, ooh, that would look really pretty on that, wouldn't it? In the mode of making something, you don't have to stop and, you know, create all things. You have this right here by you. Another neat thing that I think would be quick and easy to do is take a bulb pin, have a little one there, maybe grab a scrap of cheesecloth, just get me a little piece of it here. That's, of course, I think this one I don't know if this is coffee or tea. Maybe grab some other goodies, you know, if you have pieces of, I had little pieces of doily. Those would be good. Ooh, here's something fun. Let's use that on one of them. I have some little doily pieces here from, I think, Rooster. I think these are from Wendy, Papered Rooster. I love using things like this. Just take a couple, let's... something like that. Let's take our little film strip here. We'll just see if we can't open that up. A lot of times if you can get a hold of one corner of it, then you can kind of split it apart. And then pull out your picture. Hope I didn't mess up this great manicure that I did. But just something this easy. And you have your little fabric piece. Just finishes it off. I mean, just grabbing things around my desk. I have a little, we'll run this one together. This could be a complete one. That's plenty to hang from the edge of a page. And I know once, I mean, what about if the color you want's in the middle? Well, you can still cut it out and then wrap up what you have left back onto your cork. Or your, you know, if you had empty thread bobbins, that would be neat. Use something like this. Look, I just have pieces of things here. Another neat thing, I'm gonna, let's see what we've got. Let's use this one. Just punch a little hole in this. Use this piece maybe. Maybe use this little piece of burlap we have. Maybe I'll use this bigger piece and I'll put it behind this time. And it'll show out from behind it. Something like that. Probably look better if it didn't have that milk on there and you could do a little charm, something like that. Or another neat thing you could do, if you had scrap papers, which I think we always have scrap papers, or I do. I shouldn't say we. Some people probably clean their desk up. So you have just layer papers. Here I have some of this ledger. I wish I could find the pieces that I'd sewn through. And you could layer it like this. And then, you know, just glue that down and then have a piece of fabric right over the top just to finish it off. Isn't that cute? So you easily make your clusters, decorate your pockets, make charms. So many things with just this little fabric sitting right on your desk, along with the other 100 things I've got right on my desk. But I think you get what I'm saying. I just think these are really cute, really fun, and a great way that you could... Oh, here's another little piece. Look at that. Let's make another one. Do something like that. I need to get me a different milk cap that doesn't say that, but I think you see where I'm going with that. If you had a piece of, like a piece of wood, or one of the, like maybe a piece of chipboard that you had put napkin on, anything, a charm. Look, I've got a metal piece here. Anything that you would have on your desk close by, could make a little charm, dangle out of it. So easy. I love this idea. I meant to do this at Christmas in July and I just didn't get around to it. I actually made some things like this for myself and I'm pretty sure I've used them all. I can't remember if I put them in anything I made or not, but I know this was really quick and simple and, you know, not so much a tutorial. It's just, again, another idea of ways that we could use up our scrap fabrics. I hope this helped and gave you some ideas. And again, you saw how easy this was. It took no time to do these things. But these would be neat to put in a little stocking. Somebody, you know, that, you know, junk journals or loves all the things. Maybe they don't have a sewing machine and you could do this for them. Great ideas of ways to use up your scrap fabrics too. And like I said, you don't have to have wine corks. I mean, the spools from your leftover thread, you know, you know, maybe you keep those. I don't throw mine away looking for a way to use them. This would be a great way to use them because that's just about the width of your thread. And another thing, if you wanted to really doll it up for a craft fair, is put a little charm from the safety pin, or you could wrap some jewelry around it, something like this. Make a little charm and hang from this. So many cute things you could do. You could wrap a little thank you band. So many different ways to package it. You could put 3 in a little box, you know, something like this with your little rusted pins there. I hope you like this. I thought it was fun. Also, another idea, of course, this one goes without saying, I'm sure, but something you could do with these would be use them as a tag topper. You know, something like this would be cute, just to put it on the top of your tag. Any of these colors, because, you know, I tried to use neutral, even though they're kind of autumn color. I think autumn is very neutral. But, I mean, any of these things would look so good on the top of these tags, I think. And they're already sewn. All you have to do is just glue it down. Plus, the fabric, now you have a place you can pin your charm. I mean, that's a bit big with that doily, but I think you see what I'm saying. I hope you like this idea and that you'll try it. Make your own little spool to sit by your desk. If you don't want to sew or you don't want to make your own little spool, I will have some of these in the upcoming live sale this Friday, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. And I'll be having, lots of rusty goodness. Uh, Paper, fabrics, laces. Of course, you know me, I had to dye them all. Except the fabrics. I didn't dye a lot of fabric. But I hope that you will join us. Joe's guaranteed to have some good things as well. It'll be lots of fun, lots of people to chat with. I hope you can join us. Thank you for watching. God bless, and I will see you next time. Bye.